Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, everyone. This is me, Jonathan Alexander, and I'm here to host our show, Life After Happiness. Today, we have a returning guest, Victoria Bearden, and we have my co-host, Kelly. Are you there, Kelly?
Yeah, hi.
Are you there, Kelly?
Yep,
Are you there, Victoria?
I am there. I sure am. I am ready to roll.
Excellent.
It's funny because we were talking about negative energy, and I guess this is relevant to something, because my co-host, Kelly, I'll go ahead and say it because we talked about this before. Recently, something bad happened to her. And when bad things happen to you, I guess that does bring in negative energy. Why don't you explain it, Kelly? Because I don't want to say the wrong thing and explain it.
You mean have me explain to her?
Yeah, I mean, would that be okay? I just don't want to say it wrong and say the wrong thing.
Oh,
I just think it's better about what happened.
I think, it's just, it seems like a series of events, and they're very, very challenging. And I've been trying to look at the positive and look at the negative and look at what happened and learn and move on. And so I guess, but this was a particularly hard week with the breakup, and my sugar glider is on her way out, and I'm giving her medicine to keep her comfortable so I can have a little more time. But she's likely going to have to be, euthanized. And a lot of things are happening.
So it just sounds like that's super stressful, and maybe sometimes, when it rains, it pours, That doesn't always mean you're inviting it in. Sometimes we are just going through a rough patch. And so, it's always good to hold the best attitude possible no matter what, but sometimes it is harder, and sometimes when a whole bunch of things come in, you sometimes wonder, am I doing something? Did I paint a target on my head or something? So, that's...
Yeah, and I don't want to cut anybody off, but I was very concerned because the other day, she was saying things like, it made it, I'm scared like I was going to hurt herself.
We don't need to go into that, though. We don't need to go into that.
Everybody feels this way sometimes, though, right? And sometimes you're getting abundant, signs that something is off. And, as an astrologer, what I can say is sometimes we just are in one of those periods where we're just getting a lot of tests and challenges. Yeah,
I know that I'm going to come out of this better, and I know that I'm going to be stronger than I've ever been, and I see a lot of successes. And I'm already experiencing a lot of successes. And it's just that, how long, is this crap going to be going on? Because, I'd really like to clear the energy. I'd really like to have a fresh start. I'd really like to get rid of negativity, negative energies, whatever, and just, move on to the next chapter and just, breed success. And I'm already getting there, but it's just I just want to protect myself from negative influences, because I'm very empathic, very intuitive. And, I'm trying not to take on, negative people's crap, for lack of a better term.
Well, I think, Kelly, what you're voicing is the concerns of about a bazillion people, I think so many of us feel that way. And when you're under the gun and there's a lot going on, sometimes you have your doubts, right? So it also sounds like you have a really positive attitude underneath there that's going to be your foundation, and I'm hearing that in what you're saying. So, I feel like you have that. Just my little knowledge of you as a person, you have that vibration. So, in the sense, I know that's going to come through, but we all have times when we need to kind of check in and find our way and get some more positive energy enlisted, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I have plenty of ideas.
Woo! All right.
I mean, I could certainly just address you personally, Kelly, but I think, maybe, I don't know who's listening to us out there. Hi, people, whoever you are. But, I mean, this is something that we all go through this. So I think, whatever I can offer to you, I certainly could offer to your audience at large as well. So, I mean, I hope to, unless you have, can you just tell me without telling me the year, Kelly, just remind me what is your birthday, if you don't mind letting us know?
1974.
No, I didn't want to know the year, just the date.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said just the year. Okay.
Oh, well, I didn't know if you wanted to tell us what year. But, okay, so now that the cat's out of the bag, what's your birth date?
Okay. 12/4.
Okay, so that's just telling me at least a little bit about you personally. And, if you don't mind, I'm going to just take a really quick peek at your astrology, just really quickly, so we don't take the whole time on this. But let me just see if there's, if maybe we're looking at a ray of sunshine coming in here pretty soon, because I think that we are. Kelly, if now you don't mind if I talk about this, right?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So you do have a couple of things going on with your stars, with your astrology, that are kind of big life lessons and really super challenging right now. And a couple of them are kicking in pretty strong, but they're not going to last forever. And I think, one of them really has to do with your heart and your emotions and your feelings and a lot of life lessons about love. And I think, sometimes that is the hardest because, disappointment and just wondering, like, are things going to get better? And, just feeling heartbreak too, especially because you mentioned your beautiful little sugar glider, your little companion. I feel like there are some, and some confusion too that maybe has been going on over emotional issues may have kind of come to a head, and you might be feeling kind of disillusioned. But I want to tell you for sure right now that my impression from your astrology and just energetically is you're just about to start really clearing this up, and you're not going to repeat some of the same patterns that you've been going through over the past few years too, which I don't know exactly what that means, but I think is going to be super helpful. And does that resonate with you at all?
It really does, because there's a lot of things I'm letting go of that I couldn't before. There's a lot of traumas that happened in the past that have held me back with fear. And I'm just, at the point where I'm like, I'm done. I am so done with all of this. I am so ready to go deeper into myself and yet reach out into the world and see what I can become.
So then you'll be happy to hear that you're going through kind of a once-in-a-lifetime astrological influence, mostly having to do with Saturn, Pluto, and Neptune, that is just kind of really helping you to transform right now in a way that I don't think has been available. And it is kind of like having to walk over those hot coals. I hate to use a graphic image, but you're going to come out the other side unscathed and in one piece. But this is totally about burning off all this old karma, sweetie.
Oh, good. Do you see?
Yeah. Oh, good. I know, right?
Yeah, thank God. Yeah, exactly. When is this?
Well, you're not, like if you were going across a river and it got really, really deep to the point where maybe it got right up to your chin, it's already gone down, like you're already kind of in waist deep water. So even though the current is still really strong, you're way more than halfway through this. And, what happens is when you get a little weakened, but sometimes when the big lessons hit, that's when you really need to use your spirituality and your psychic self-defense and all of that even more. But sometimes you get tired and you don't feel like it. But some of it's just going to change on its own, and some of it's going to just be affirming the things that you already know that are the things that you know in your heart and soul that are your beliefs and the power of good, and those things are going to really help you now.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, maybe everybody else doesn't, but I think you have a pretty strong belief system, don't you?
Yeah, I really do. I have one where I'm learning to not compromise on things that are really important to me. Mm-hmm. And before it was, I would try to conform to the person. I'm balancing that plate, balancing mine, balancing other people's expectations. And I'm at the point now where I'm like, well, screw it. I'm going to make me happy.
You have to support your own energy. Because if you're losing energy everywhere and to everybody, first of all, you don't have much to offer yourself. And secondly, you don't really have much to offer anybody else, too, because you're always running on empty.
That's how I felt for a very, very long time, but I'm not now so much.
So a little positive selfishness is probably just exactly what the doctor ordered right now.
Oh, good. Yeah, I've been doing things like pampering myself, or instead of going, gosh, I wish I had flowers, I went out and I bought, bulbs. I bought daffodils, I bought hyacinths, I bought tulips, and they're in really pretty planters, and they make me happy.
Oh, that was a good thing to do for spring. It was just spring equinox, so that's sort of really life-affirming, like I'm going to grow something. That's extremely cool, and that's a really powerful image for you because you need to kind of come back to life, right? Like the bulbs?
Yeah, like spring is usually my favorite time anyway because winter is sort of like dark. It's exploring things that aren't always seen, not always on the surface. It's, the energy is all kind of like hibernating, and then spring, it has that chance for renewal, the chance to come alive, the chance to take action.
Well, I think that's probably really good to have those symbols around you, and the flowers are a great image for you to be able to just kind of affirm life. So I'm certainly wishing you that energy too, but I can tell you that astrologically you are kind of going through a rough patch, but there's a reason for it, and I think you're going to really change, and that's going to be the worthwhile part of everything that you're getting through right now. So I just want to affirm that for you.
Thank you. I have a tendency in the past to be a doormat and worry too much about what the other person thinks and mold myself to fit that person sometimes. So as heart-wrenching as it was to when he broke up with me, it's like I'm sitting back going, well, I couldn't really be myself. So this is better, actually, even though it hurt like hell.
Well, yeah, you got to realize that your foundation just is getting moved around now. You still have one, Other people don't provide us with a foundation. They're just part of it, but we have our own foundation, and right now I think that's what you're working on. I hope so.
Yeah.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, I'm purging the things that no longer are helping me, or no longer make me feel good, I'm getting rid of mementos and reminders of different things that I no longer connect with. It's just starting
that's
to
good. And also ask for help. Ask for help from your guides, from Spirit, because you need it right now, right? I mean, you need support and help in affirming really positive things.
Yeah, and one of the really cool things was I really didn't have a whole lot of time for people between work and my ex-fiance and his kid and, all this stuff. I didn't have time for myself. I didn't have time for my extended family. I didn't have time for my friends. And now it's like, it's not like I got a gift of time, but I kind of do in a way. And now, I can do whatever I want when I want, which is really cool. And I have a lot of people that love me that I didn't realize did.
Well,
and I love
really
you,
cool.
Kelly.
I love you too, Johnny. You're one of my very best friends.
Yay! We got the love circle going on here.
I was really worried about her. I'm glad that you're getting the support that you need. You know.
Thank you. Me too, because I felt so alone. I felt like my entire world collapsed in on itself, and I didn't have a family anymore. I didn't have, a home anymore. And now it's like I have so many things that I didn't realize I had because I was so taken up by the I'm on a podcast right now. Sorry. But yeah, so much of my time and attention and everything was taken up with that. And would this please this person? Would this please this person? Well, if I can't do this, how about that? And, I don't need to be put through the paces or jump through the hoops. I can do my own, not be told or whatever what I should be doing.
Well, it gives you a chance to kind of get on a new journey, and it sounds like you're going to be doing a lot of healing too, and that's what you want, right?
A lot of what?
Healing.
Yes, exactly.
Healing takes a little time. You need to kind of acknowledge that and say, I want to invite that healing energy in, and so you're going on a new path, sweetie, and it's a big deal. So, yeah. I don't know. I hope you're patient with yourself.
Yeah, I'm learning to be because, I always want results yesterday, but I'm really learning to just go through the process, and it takes however long it takes. But it's really like it's been a few years since I lived entirely by myself, and my housemate's moving out. So it's going to be interesting, but it's kind of something I'm looking forward to a little bit, just, so that I know that I'm independent and I can do this.
Yeah, you can reclaim your territory and reset your space and, start figuring out who you want to be now. And I think, like I was saying, I just took a peek at your astrology, and believe me, as we go into the rest of this year, it's not going to get harder and harder, Kelly. It's going to get easier, and you're going to get stronger. So I feel really good about saying that to you, so I hope that that's a big encouragement.
Thank you. Do you see me doing well at my current job when I get back to it? I had ended up being injured on it, and so I'm on workman's comp, so it's like a medical leave. But
well, my impression, without, going too far into exactly when, I would have to say that if I look ahead to the following year, to 2020, I definitely see you employed and like going back to what you want to do or what you really feel that is right for you at that point. It may be that you have some developments in that way this year, but if I move ahead and I see 2020, that looks like you're already kind of doing what you need to do and things are working. So that makes me feel good, even though there might be still some more time ahead where you have to, kind of get back into balance.
Oh, okay. Do you see me finding love again? I'm certainly not looking right now, and there are people that are asking me out.
Well, once again, your whole life path is kind of being reset right now. And if you ran out and went on Tinder today and met somebody, they probably wouldn't be right for you in a few months because you're changing. I'm not going to tell you can't go out and be social or you can't connect with people, but I'm sure you understand that at this point, you want to make sure you're coming from a place of real strength. And I think you're really still kind of processing. I mean, that's my gut on that, Kelly. So do I think it's going to happen? Absolutely. I just, don't think it needs to happen too soon because I think you need to be on your own journey for a little while, if I'm so bold as to say so. But I certainly don't think you have to worry about that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I really do want to be on my own and not have to worry about it. I mean, seriously, like, if somebody says, I want to hold your hand, it makes me cringe and want to barf a little bit.
Aww.
So, yeah,
okay.
it's like, it doesn't matter who this person is. It's just, right now it's like I'm in the don't touch me zone and, because I'm still, not wanting that. But, it's, yeah.
Well, you probably need some boundaries and some barriers right now. So I think that's probably just good advice for everybody, too. Sometimes people, everybody's like, oh, you need to just get right back out there. And sometimes that's exactly the opposite of what you need to do, because you need to retreat a little into your own self and find your strength again.
Yeah, I'm not
Kelly,
interested in getting out there from that.
Has she answered all your questions?
Well, since we're on the topic and we're getting so, I'm putting it out there, do you think that the person that I was in a relationship with will elevate himself, and sometime down the road we will meet in the middle and be on the same level?
Do you want an honest answer?
Yes.
Not particularly.
Okay, that's kind of what my gut was telling me, but I didn't know for sure.
So I would wish them the best, but I think sometimes we have a chance with somebody when there's a soul-to-soul connection where we can both, even if we don't stay together, we can kind of get to that great place, but it doesn't always happen. And if it does, great, but I don't know that I would be too attached to that right now. And their path is their own now, so bless them and release them. That would be my best advice to you, Kelly.
Okay. Do you have any, I could see where it wasn't working, and it probably won't unless they want to make some major changes too. So, and that's up to that person. And, so, if they don't, then they don't. And then It's not going to work with me. And, maybe they'd be perfectly fine for someone else, but not for me.
Yeah. Well, I think when a lot of people go through breakups, it's hard to really release just because there's so much energy that was shared. And so, it'll take a little while, but I think you'll do it. And I think that's going to help empower you for your own path. So, I'd be happy to talk about anything else that you guys want to talk about. What do you think about the psychic self-protection theme? Is that something that might be of interest to your listeners right now?
I think
we
so.
Can. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think, Jonathan? You haven't said a word.
No.
For you.
I think that I know. It's sometimes when Kelly, I love Kelly, and sometimes when Kelly's in pain, I want to make an effort to fix the pain with her. That's why I really haven't, said much. It's not that I never say anything. It's just that, I don't like the idea that someone that I really care about is in pain, if that makes
sense.
Well,
that's why we're going to hold an enormous amount of light and good energy around Kelly right now.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, whether you like it or not. You're getting
I like it. Damn it, I'm tired of all the negative crap. So,
okay.
Yes, I can use all the light, good energy, and protection possible while I grow and, cast. I feel like the butterfly is finally going to be coming out of the cocoon.
That's a good symbol for you, too, because this is just a reawakening of things that you have in you that maybe they weren't coming out. So now you have a chance to kind of get the wings all dried up so you can fly around and see where you want to be. And I think that's going to be really cool for you.
Yeah, thank you. I am looking forward to it, excitedly a little bit, because I haven't allowed myself to be there, and I hadn't processed things in my life enough to be at that point. And I know that this is forcing me to.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go. There's the silver lining, I guess, right?
Yeah, I almost feel like sending him a thank you.
Hey, you know what? That's a good sentiment.
Yeah.
So anyway, I can start off on things that I think your audience might want, but do you guys have anything that you really want me to talk about?
I think that let's talk about let's keep it with the subject of you were saying something, Kelly?
Yeah, the protection from negative energy, negative people, psychic attacks. I think that would be perfect.
I think people underestimate it. I think there might not be any way to scientifically prove that it happens, but I totally think it's a real deal. And I think it's also easy for us to misdiagnose things sometimes and think we're under psychic attack when we're actually just having a rough patch. So, I mean, I think I might be able to shed some light on how to tell the difference, because sometimes you can just be having a bad time and think like, oh, my God, somebody's trying to ruin my life. But it might actually just be that you're having a really rough time and learning some hard lessons. And sometimes people do have, you in their crosshairs. So, I mean, I'd be happy to talk about that. It's a subject that I think a lot of people are very interested in, too, because, they've gone through some things and they maybe they didn't know what to do. So the first thing that I think is to really be aware. I think it's easy to just wander around life pretty blindly and not tune into your sixth sense or your instincts or your natural desire to protect yourself, and then you let people take your energy. But if you tune into that part of yourself and realize that you're an intuitive being, when you start to sense something is wrong or someone is wrong for you or they're not treating you in the right way, you got to acknowledge that. So that's the first thing right there, because, when the hair is standing up on the back of your neck or you just have a weird feeling about something, it's usually true. And sometimes you can get weakened, either because you're going through illness or maybe through substance abuse or negative thinking, and maybe your instincts aren't working. So that's also a reason to try to keep your energy as strong as you can.
Oh, okay.
So that's the first thing, is just that awareness. So you're acknowledging your own little bells and whistles when they go off, and you think, like, why is this happening, or what is it with this person? Not to encourage paranoia, but then when your instincts are really kicking in that you need to protect yourself, that you pay attention. So that's the first thing I have to say to people. Then the next thing is you need to determine the source, and oftentimes, if you are under psychic attack, or PA, that's what I like to call it, you start to feel really uneasy after some kind of an encounter or an event with someone. And you usually kind of remember, or you realize, like, oh, my God, that's when things started getting kind of weird. And so when something like that happens, a lot of times the other person is either angry or jealous or competitive, or maybe they just want to control you. Maybe they just decided that they want your energy, There are a lot of psychic stalkers and psychic hackers and psychic vampires out there that are really just looking for a fix. It's not even that personal. They just want your energy. And I hate to say this, but sometimes even people that should be, really like safe authority figures like priests or doctors or light workers or energy workers or gurus or teachers, they might want to break you down because they want your energy. They want to control you. So this is not to make people feel paranoid, but you really have to have your radar on. And if you start realizing that you're feeling weird after having an interaction with somebody or having an altercation, you may actually have attracted the attention of that kind of negativity from someone. Do you guys have have either of you had any experiences like that?
Well,
yeah.
I feel like, for many, many years, I felt like I was having so much bad luck it didn't make any sense. And then I started realizing, it took me a few years to kind of actually be thankful for what I had. And it's sort of funny because, like, I met Kelly when I was going through all that. And, it's sort of like you can't help but be thankful for Kelly because, she radiates warmth through her voice. And, and she's my best friend. So I'm always trying to check in on her to see how she's doing. And I always worry about saying stupid things to her. But,
we can talk through them, so.
Yeah, that's kind of different from psychic attack, though. Attracting positive energy is something we can always do. But, as far as, like,
I understand. I thought...
and it sounds like you were maybe, like I said, we do sometimes go through periods where we keep stumbling over the same lesson over and over again, but it doesn't mean that it's because other people have targeted us, you know, and there's a difference.
Yeah, I've been targeted. There was, there were people that were jealous, or people that didn't take the time to get to know me or whatever, and I've had it happen off and on in my life.
Mhm.
So, yeah. Or some people said it was easy because I'm so nice.
Well, sometimes if you're really nice and open and you are empathetic, in a sense, people target your energy because they know they can get it from you. The world does have givers and takers are always on the lookout for givers. So sometimes having those boundaries is a way to protect yourself both from just, people using you and possibly even really just wanting to drain your energy like a psychic vampire. I don't want to make it sound like the world is full of creepy people, but there are definitely people that don't have good motivations out there, and if you offer them your energy, they'll take it, and then they'll take more and more and more. So that's something to just be super aware of.
Yeah.
Especially for empaths, If you're one of those sensitive people who really is compassionate all the time, sometimes you don't know how to stay in that compassionate mode and still have your self-protection up. It can be done, of course, but it's sometimes something that you need to affirm.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's one of the things I'm working on, so that I won't end up a doormat or, walked on or treated crappily or have my energy drained.
That's right. So, really affirming the power of love and compassion inside of you, but not giving your energy away, okay? So to have that really strong energy of love and compassion, it doesn't mean that you're going to give your energy away. It just means that that's what you're radiating and that you will be very giving. And if you affirm that all the time and really feel that light inside of you, then you're not going to attract negativity because it can't really exist in the same place with that kind of light. But you also have to kind of affirm that your own self-esteem and your own self-value is there too. So you care about your own light and your own energy,
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you.
Well, because, sometimes people feel like that selfless giving means that they shouldn't be holding up their own energy or they shouldn't be putting up boundaries or they shouldn't be putting out their psychic protection. And it doesn't mean that at all. You can still be selfless and giving, but actually have a strong sense of self. That might sound like an oxymoron, but it's not. And if you don't have that really strong sense of positive self-care, you are at risk, and you're not going to be able to generate the kind of energy that you need to do more good work out in the world and to work and send a healing to all those that you care about. So kind of goes both ways. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, because I've done things where I've lost myself. I've lost, because I was giving so much, the bucket got empty. And then that's when I would get sick. And then
that's what happens. That's when you're just not generating energy for yourself because you're over giving. So that's really important to kind of just know that you need to connect to sources that boost your own energy. And those things are usually, through health affirming things and spiritual things. And of course, being around other really positive, good people. And we can tell when people have good energy, right?
Yeah, that's who I am absolutely surrounding myself with those people now, and anybody that's not fitting that, I don't really have time for.
Yeah, and you can, if people are a problem, you can hold them in the light, but you don't have to invite them into your inner sanctum. You know?
Yeah. Okay.
Holding somebody in the light isn't the same as letting them walk all over you. It just means that you're holding compassion and love for them on a universal level with no strings attached. That, you know, if they want to send anything weird your way, that it's going to bounce off of you. But you can still think good thoughts about them on a universal level. It just shouldn't be very personal because you don't want to attach yourself to people whose energy doesn't represent your own.
That makes sense. I think that's a big lesson I'm going through right now.
And I mean, sometimes we have to go through that a lot, and we do in our most personal lives. I mean, occasionally the people that are messing with our energy are family members or people we're in a relationship with because they're mad or angry or we're not doing what they want us to do or whatever. And sometimes we even have to put up really powerful boundaries with them.
Yeah, I've had to do that with family before, and now I'm doing that with the ex because, well, I mean, I need to move through and move on from him. Right. And he needs to know he can't do that to me.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I don't put up with that anymore.
Well, and you know, once again, that keeping a really positive attitude no matter what isn't always easy, but checking in with your thoughts, especially when you know you've gone through something that's thrown you off balance, and doing things that represent energy-building activities like deep breathing and meditation and movement and being in nature and maybe going to inspirational places. Like, I mean, for some people that might be churches or cathedrals, and for some people it might be music or just being around really life-affirming people and places and activities, because that's going to help build your energy. All you need to do is show up.
Nice.
I mean, literally, sometimes you need to go out and hug a tree, you know?
Yeah.
And just let some energy from the world boost you and hold you up. And especially if you're feeling kind of like somebody's psychically blasting you, that's exactly what you need to do. You need to get yourself in alignment with things that represent power, you know, that represent positive power and help you.
I have a question.
How
do you know the difference between being psychically blasted and then just having a bad day? I mean, is there a difference?
Well, you know, yes, there is. Usually, like I was saying, when you're actually under psychic effect, you usually have some kind of knowledge of it. Something happened with a person, or things start going really crappy, and a certain person keeps coming to your mind, you know, or there's somebody at work that you know really doesn't like you, and then suddenly things start going really wrong, you know. You can usually feel it. Like I said, sometimes it is just random, and, you know, or like I said, sometimes it can be that you have a guru or a teacher, and then suddenly you start thinking like, oh, I'm doing so well with my meditations. Why am I feeling so weird? I mean, it can be, usually the person knows when they're being psychically attacked, Jonathan. So you have to kind of like realize like what keeps coming up to my mind, or who keeps popping into my mind when I'm starting to feel this way. And then you need to, you know, again, start turning the tables on them. You know, you don't want to fight fire with fire, you know. But if you feel like, oh, my God, I do think my boss wants me, you know, to have a hard time right now, and she doesn't like me. I can tell she's trying to undermine me. Or if you realize that, you know, somebody is coming up in that way, and you're like, oh, God, I think that person is zapping me. Then what you have to do, you can't fight fire with fire, but you have to do that old thing like what the kids used to say, I'm rubber, you're glue, what bounces off me sticks to you, and really kind of beef up your aura and feel this psychic energy around you and actually visualize it, and visualize their energy bouncing off of you and going back to where it came, but not going after them or being afraid of them. You know, you just need to kind of send it away and hold them in the light, but not let them in. That's what we were just talking about, actually. And so, yeah, that's often I do think people know who their psychic attacker is. So I think identifying that and going like, okay, I get it. I'm going to bless and release that person and not judge them, but they don't get access to me anymore. Shields are up, you know? And sometimes you have to come up with a really powerful mantra to remind yourself of that, like, I am strong, safe, and protected. And you need to just say that to yourself whenever you start feeling weird, you know? Or I always think, you know, my little saying is shields of goodness engaged, you know, kind of like I'm in my spaceship and I just put my force field up. But you also have to kind of feel it and visualize it. Right when it's happening, you need to stop. You need to do some deep breathing and go like, shields up, you know. And then sometimes you even have to visualize that protective field around you that is capable of bouncing that energy off of you. Not in a negative way towards the person, because you don't want to bind yourself to them, you know. You don't want to obsess about them, or the worst thing you could ever do would be to tell them. Go, oh, by the way, I know you're psychically attacking me. Because then they're going to go like, oh, you must be delusional. And they'll try to undermine you and act like they don't know what you're talking about while secretly smirking.
Or you could treat it like it's a legal thing and send them a certified letter in the mail. That would be one way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to tip them off. What you want to do is change the game. And then what usually happens, and you'll know you're succeeding, is you'll start feeling better, and you'll notice when you're around them, if you have to cross their path, that they'll be confused, or hopefully eventually they'll just turn their attention towards something else, or they'll go away, which is what you want. That's why you don't want to bind yourself to them with anger or hurt or fear or retaliation, because that actually will backfire.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because some people are like, oh my God, I want to make sure they get their karma, or I'm going to send negative energy to them. It's like, put the voodoo dolls away. Don't do that. That's not what cures it. What cures it is, that affirming that incredible power of goodness and affirming the force of spirit inside of yourself, and just blasting that stuff out and getting rid of it out of your own energy. And then if it goes back to them, it's not your problem. It's theirs.
Oh, okay.
You're not like giving them their karma or whatever. And you kind of can't be worried about what they do at all. You have to be really neutral, Because like I said, I do think we usually know who it is. Occasionally, something will happen and you'll just be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Somebody might target you because they don't even know you, but you don't believe the way they do, or they feel you're pretentious, or sometimes it can be something like that where you don't even really know them. But in that case, you just have to affirm your positive psychic shields in general, because you don't have somebody that you can go like, oh, I know who this is. But so it's always good to kind of really have that positive visualization of your energy going on, and to be able to check in with yourself and say, are my shields up? Am I protecting myself? Yes, I am, and affirm it in the positive. That's how I do it.
Oh.
And, because I'm a psychic reader and an astrologer, I'm constantly walking into other people's vibrations and working with people and working with energy. So if I don't do that, I'm in big trouble. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. It's like you're a magnet and picking up all this, residual
Well, or I'm
stuff.
just, I have to be able to be open and not be vulnerable to that. Or when people come and they're going through some kind of really incredibly difficult thing, that I don't either take it on or it doesn't weaken my force field, and then all of a sudden I let all kinds of stuff in that I don't need around me. So, you can kind of start looking at your world around you and say, oh, I'm kind of responsible for my energy, to keep my energy up. And you are.
One thing that let me know that I'm growing, of several things, when I do chakra days, I no longer allow myself to get sick when I'm picking out, negative energy, or if I'm picking up the stomach ache or whatever. I can acknowledge it and let it go.
Absolutely, and that's just move it through.
Yeah, it's like, oh, hallelujah, this is doing so much better because, they're still getting the same benefit that they would before, but I'm not being made sick from it. I'm not, having a negative effect. It's like, okay, I acknowledge
it's not yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not your energy. And whatever you're doing, if you want to help heal somebody, if you're tuning into somebody's pain or something like that, you're just moving the energy. You don't need to absorb it. You can just look at it and just move it on through, but being aware of that is super important too.
Yeah, I think, I'm definitely coming into my own with that, being able to finally do it.
Cool. Well, and of course, keeping positive energy in your thoughts and being in integrity and not making yourself a target, those are all good things too, And what I say by not making yourself a target would be, just being really mindful of your own behavior and feeling good about yourself and doing things that benefit you in a positive way, so you're not looking weak and vulnerable, or you're not just trying to please people all the time or giving them too much and giving them permission to actually take from you if they don't deserve it. I think that's okay.
Yeah, thank you.
It doesn't mean you're selfish.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, thank you. That took me a long time to start realizing that, it's like the giving tree. Eventually, the tree gave everything it had and was nothing.
Mhm.
And,
reciprocity is a nice thing. Energy in, energy out. That you can put good energy out there, and there's no reason not to affirm that you'll get that back. It's okay. It isn't like you have to do everything with a thought of a reward, but, it's great to be able to draw in and magnetize and attract the support and the happiness and the abundance and the things you need. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay. Okay.
Well, sometimes it sounds so simplistic to believe that you deserve good energy. But sometimes we're not really affirming that. We're thinking like, oh, I don't know, maybe that's for somebody else, or maybe I'm asking for too much. And it's like, no, you're not. Ask for as much as you need. And if you feel like you need something, if you feel that you need more protection, or you need guidance, or that you need spiritual protection from your guides and guardians and spirit, then it's okay to ask for that too. I don't think we're just alone. I think we're all connected to other light beings, other beings that are positive, and they'll help us if we ask them. That's my belief system anyway, and I think it's helpful to know that you're not alone, even if you're just connecting to other really good people. That we are out there just supporting each other too, and I think that's something to remember.
Yeah, thank you. When I am open and on the right frequency, if that makes sense, I often do feel like, I'm part of a bigger thing. It's much bigger than myself, but it doesn't minimize myself either. It doesn't make me insignificant because I'm small.
Not at all.
So,
no, it actually is extremely supportive, and I think when you have those kinds of realizations and you tune into what you were just saying, Kelly, the frequency, it makes a big difference, because you can get what you need from that too when you feel like you need something, and that's okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
It's really great when we can hold good energy for other people too, and to uphold that idea. Like, wow, a lot of times when I do my full moon circles, I have a group of people get together and we do like a healing circle in every full moon. One of the main reasons is not just to get energy for ourselves, but we send energy out to everybody who needs it. And we're holding that space for people, and building it up every month. And I've been doing this for, I don't know, like I'm going to say well over 10 years every month. So it's a reminder, and it's kind of like that idea of bringing the energy in that we need, but also putting energy into the energy bank that everybody else needs. And there are people all over the world that do that. And
that's great.
God bless them,
Yeah.
I mean, we can be our own guardian angels for each other too,
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Wow, this has been really eye-opening. And I've been taking notes.
Oh, cool. Of course, the other things that people can do, just in case anybody's, wondering, I mean, smudging yourself with white sage or your house, frankincense and myrrh, crystals, sound, bells, plants, color, power symbols, that stuff all works too. But it's the energy of doing it, and, it's kind of the real core of it is to hold that powerful, good energy and acknowledge it inside of yourself all the time. But those other kinds of activities that are chanting, prayer, those things do absolutely and utterly work. But also, once again, you don't. The energy is what you need to be building, affirming, and bringing in. So that's square one, and the rest of it, I don't want to say it's not just fluff, because it's not. Those activities and those things that you can do for yourself like that really make a huge difference. You guys know, I'm sure, have you guys ever used any of those things, like the sage or the incense or sound or anything like that?
I have. I also have done Epsom salt baths with a carrier oil and essential oils, and that seems to work well. Well, that works fantastic. And sometimes when you're feeling particularly, kind of at a low vibe, you need to do that a lot. So the essential oils and Epsom salt, I do that all the time. That's like such a great, cheap, simple energy clearing activity. It's soak in some Epsom salt. Yeah, that's great. Wow. So would you add baking soda to it, or is that kind of unnecessary?
You could. I mean, it's kind of a personal choice, I would think. I think just a straight Epsom salt works really well, and the aromatherapy oils and Bach flowers and all of those things that kind of work on a more energetic level, on the subtle bodies and different parts of our brain and stuff like that, because aromatherapy works on our brain, but it also has its own vibration too, because it's plant-based. So all of that stuff is really powerful too.
Oh, but you said what flowers?
Aromatherapy and Bach flower remedies. This Bach flower is like BACH, and for people that are going through things, they're flower essences is what they are.
Oh, is that a brand or something?
Bach flower, you could probably look it up. It's pretty easy. It's been around for a long time, but it's a kind of almost like homeopathy. There's just sort of like this really basic essential quality of different flowers. I'm not going to act like I'm an expert in it, but there's one that kind of is my favorite. It's called Rescue Remedy. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
That's a great thing to have around, believe me.
Oh.
You can give it to your pets, too.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, it won't hurt them. Rescue Remedy in your animals' water when they need a little extra help or going through stress. is a super great thing to have in your arsenal of positivity.
Oh, very nice. I didn't know that. I learn new things every day, and I love learning. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even if you don't get all the way into Bach flower remedies, if you have rescue remedy, you're in good shape. Kind of like with homeopathy, having arnica, you know, like that's like if you don't have anything, have some arnica in case you're bruised or you're sore or something, that kind of thing.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You know, like basic aromatherapy too, calming. There's so many great ones out there, you know, but those kinds of things are all helpful and supportive too. And of course, for me, I'm really into my crystals, so I have stones and crystals and geodes and stuff all around that help move the energy around in my home and help amplify my energy. So I'm kind of into that. I also have a lot of bells and gongs and crystal bowls and stuff, and every day there is not a day that goes by that I'm not using sound to clear my energy. So that's easy too, because even if you just buy, you know, some really great wind chimes or a little toning bell that you hit with a little stick, you know, people have seen those. It's like instantly changes the vibe. It's magic. It's really neat.
Oh, cool. So it doesn't matter, like, I've seen, like, the Tibetan singing bowls, and they're in different sizes.
Those are really good. The singing bowls, the big crystal singing bowls, those are fantastic. If people have interest in them, they could probably go online and find out more about them and maybe get one and start using it. But even like little bells and chimes and things like that, or gongs, I'm sure you've heard of people taking a gong bath. That is incredible. It actually just changes your whole vibration.
Wow. So it doesn't matter what vibration or frequency or note
it can.
that they do?
I mean, you might find that there's something really specific that you need. But then again, if you're going out and trying to find tools like that, you'll just be attracted to the right one for you. Because it'll sound right. It'll feel right, you know.
Oh, good, because
you'll be like, wow, I love that. Oh, wait, you know, that's my frequency. I think we have those instincts.
Oh, good. Thank you, because I was like, you know, trying to order one from a catalog, and it's like, okay, this is, you know, in the tone of C major, and it's like, okay, well, I know what that is, but I don't know if I'm going to like this when it comes. You know?
Yeah, it might be good to either try it out for a while if you ordered something online, or if you can go to a shop that has those kinds of things or try it out somewhere, that might be the better way to do it, because then you'll be naturally attracted to the right thing. So that's what I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So, gosh, you know, what do you think? Did we cover some things that you think might be helpful?
Very. Thank you.
And I hope Kelly feels a little bit better. Do you feel better, Kelly?
I do. I want to go out and try all these things now. I'm excited.
Well, and plus, Kelly, too, now you know that this is such a turning point for you, that there are reasons why you're going through what you're going through, and you are going to come out the other side. So I hope I really got that across, because I really think that it's going to change a lot for you, and in such a better way. So just really wishing you a lot of really great energy with your process.
Oh, thank you. I definitely could use that. And, you know, I'm trying to cast self-doubt to the side and just, elevate myself and just, go with it and let go.
Mhm. All the right things.
Thank you. Yeah, each day is a little bit easier, but it has its own challenges. And, I just feel like maybe mid-April is going to be where my time starts.
Well, it is spring, and that's all about new beginnings and bringing yourself back to life, finding the part of you that needs to be transformed and resurrected, and allowing yourself to be reborn. So that's a good good parting thought, probably.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, letting things go that no longer fit, and I'm learning every day what doesn't fit and what feels right and what is me and what's not me. I think often when we're in a serious relationship, we often lose sight of that part of ourselves.
Well, a lot of what's going on in the cycle that we're in now, with the new moon in Aries coming up and other things, is about finding how to be yourself and still be open to others. So it can be done.
Oh, cool. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, this is quite the journey, but I felt like everything's led up to this, like, for years and years. So, you know, I'm tired of the same crap, you know, and I'm moving through it.
Well, you're not alone.
Good, thank you, because that's like a hard feeling when you think that you are.
Well,
you're not alone.
People,
okay.
Yeah, you're not. And for anybody else out there, you're not either. There are a lot of us that really want to uphold the energy for ourselves and for everybody else too, and we can do that.
Oh, good. Yeah, thank you. I hope that more people are going to be attracted to my life, you know, to become part of it, that are on the higher frequencies, that are positive people, that we can hold each other up instead of pick at each other. And because I don't want to pick at each other. There's no point in it to me.
And you can affirm that very thing is happening right now, that's in process, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, then you're just not hoping for it. You're saying, okay, that's what's happening now, and this is my new journey.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
You know, it's that power of attraction stuff where we need to just own it and keep it in the present, and honestly, it totally works. Then you're not telling the universe any mixed messages. You're saying, okay, I'm going to walk my talk, and I believe good things are happening for me right now. And they are.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It makes a difference.
Okay. Yeah, I'll keep doing that. Yeah, it felt weird at first, but, you know.
Oh, it does, because sometimes you think, like, am I just faking it? but it's kind of a spiritual way of faking it till you make it, you know. But you're not faking it. If you say, like, I'm inviting goodness in now, then you just did. That's really cool.
Ah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need that.
So we'll all get our psychic force fields up for the stuff we don't want, and we'll affirm that we are inviting goodness in for the things that are the most important and essential for our happiness and well-being and the good of all, and we will remember that as we go forward.
Ah, yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Well, we're about out of time, but it was really great having you on, and I hope that you helped. I hope Kelly feels better now, having spoken with you and about all the topics that we talked about.
Yeah,
okay?
well, I think, you know, we were all here for each other, too, so that's really cool. I love working with you guys, and people can find me at astrologysandiego.com, and I hope to be on your show again.
Oh, good. We'd love to have you. Yeah,
okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. You have a nice night.
Yeah, thanks everybody for listening, and thanks for coming on.
Okay.